Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Imagine with Keira podcast. I'm so happy you're here today. I'm actually pulling a little switcheroony. I know we've talked with somebody from the new Miss America Teen class. We're actually going to go back to the old one. She is your current reigning Miss Iowa's Teen. I got to see her around a little bit at Miss America, and I'm so excited to talk with her today. And I will catch you guys when she hops on. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Imagine with Keira podcast. I have a very special guest today, and I'll have her introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Juliana Clark. I am Miss Iowa's Teen, and I'm so excited to be featured on the podcast today.
Thank you so much for hopping on. I can't wait to dig into these questions. So, first off, kind of give us a rundown of your experience in the Miss America opportunity, like how you started, how many years you've been competing, that whole story.
Absolutely. So I'm a bit of a newer face in the Miss America opportunity. I'm a senior in high school this year, but I started competing as a sophomore in high school when one of my friend's grandmas was on the board of a local competition and she begged me to do it. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but I competed and it was so much fun. I was hooked. From there, I competed in that local season, competed at state, and was ready to go for the next local season. And with the state competition following, I was able to walk away with the crown and Miss Iowa's Teen.
That's so exciting. That's awesome. So, why did you decide to start? I know you mentioned that you had like your friend's grandmother, but what was the real pull for you?
The real pull for me was the opportunity to earn scholarship while also expressing my musical abilities and advocating for the things that I care about. Something that I think really sets the Miss America opportunity apart and allows for such growth and development of a person is the opportunity to share about the things we care about, especially with our community service initiative and being able to express that on the local, state, and the national stage.
That's so true. So, speaking of, share with everybody what your community service initiative is.
Yeah, so my community service initiative is Pack the Pantries, Fighting Food Insecurity, and I really focus on educating and advocating for and about food insecurity, especially to our elementary aged youth. For the past 3 years here in the state of Iowa, I've held the Be the Change Point Drive. We've raised over $10,000 in my own community school district, and it's really just been a way to get the kids, educators, and families all involved and working together toward a common goal.
That's so awesome. So, you also mentioned your musical ability. Share what your talent is with everybody.
I sing a musical theater vocal solo. It is one of the most fun things that I've ever done. I've been on the stage since I was probably 3 years old at my little church musicals. But I really found my passion, whether it was singing in choir, playing in band, theater. I just loved being on stage, and being able to sing musical theater was always a dream for me, and getting to do that on the Miss America's Teen stage was absolutely overwhelming.
That's so cool. And then you also mentioned the scholarship poll. So I'd love for you to share with everybody what your plans are for next year, what your career goals are, and how the Miss America opportunity has helped you get there.
So next fall, I will be attending the University of Alabama on a full tuition presidential scholarship so graciously gifted to all 51 delegates who competed at Miss America's Teen through a partnership with the Miss America Opportunity and the University of Alabama. It is truly life-changing. The opportunity to further my education while not having to worry so much about the expenses is absolutely crazy. I'll be majoring in kinesiology with a minor in music with plans to become a physician associate.
That's awesome. I'm trying to think what else I can ask you here. So, obviously, besides this amazing scholarship opportunity you provided at the University of Alabama, how much other scholarship money have you earned over the past couple years?
I've earned around $3,000,
Awesome.
and that is going to go such a long way with paying for room and board and everything else. And I'm so gracious that I'm able to use that.
That's so cool. Let's see. Okay, so I'd love for you to give a rundown for everybody of what your experience at Miss America was like. I know it was the first year where teens and Miss were all together, so a very different experience, but share, what moments really stood out to you.
Well, coming from a small town in Iowa, I have never been to Florida or Orlando, anything like that. So just being there in general was so crazy. I was absolutely amazed, like with everyone. One thing that I will never forget was walking into the hotel that we were staying at, and we were checking in, and all of a sudden I looked across the lobby, and who was it? I think it was Miss Arizona's team that I saw, and I was like, oh my gosh, I know you, but I've only seen you on social media. And so getting to meet all other 50 delegates was just so incredible, knowing that we all knew each other, but now we were finally getting to meet. That was one of my most favorite parts. Another thing I really cherished throughout the week was getting to spend it with my miss. My Miss Iowa is Alyssa Gothi, and she advocates for type 1 diabetes. And she is my mentor, my best friend, and getting to experience all of Miss America and Miss America's Teen Week was great. And as for the experience as a whole, it is so hard to describe. It was absolutely amazing. Being able to be surrounded by 50 other young women, and actually way more than that with our Miss America delegates as well, who are all so passionate for performing on stage and for their community service initiatives. It was just such an empowering week. Even with the getting up early and rehearsals, I wouldn't have traded it for the world.
That's so cool. Yeah, it was. I got to be there to watch towards for some of the week, and like seeing everybody in person that I followed on social media. It's such a weird experience.
And you have interviewed so many of them.
I know, it's been so cool to meet all of you guys. Let's see what else. Besides your amazing experiences during Miss America Week, have you had a best moment as Miss Iowa's Teen?
Oh my gosh. Well, there's been some great moments and some funny moments. I think getting to spend time with some of the younger kids, that preschool, kindergarten age is so funny. They come up to you and they're like, oh my gosh, you're wearing a crown, you're a princess. Do you live in a castle? Those are some of my favorite comments that I've been able to receive. But one of my favorite appearances as Miss Iowa's Teen was attending the Iowa Hunger Summit. And that was held at the World Food Prize in the capital of Iowa, Des Moines. And I was able to talk to so many leaders as well as our governor about the issues that are surrounding food insecurity and what we're doing in the state of Iowa to help combat that. I got to learn a lot of things that maybe I haven't experienced myself. One thing would be the agricultural side of food insecurity in Iowa. We are a pretty large agricultural producing state. And so getting to learn how food insecurity and agriculture impact each other was really interesting. And that was one of my favorite experiences as Miss Iowa's Teen.
That's so awesome. Let's try to think of anything else. Going back to the whole either, your state week or nationals, do you have any pageant like superstitions or traditions that you follow?
Traditions? I'm pretty chill. Do everything. I try not to overwhelm myself as much. So making sure, I don't know if it's superstition, but making sure that I just breathe and relax and remember that everything's going to happen for a reason. I think it helps me calm down, and it allows me to really enjoy the week with my fellow sisters instead of thinking about the competition side. I think that has really helped me and helped a lot of the other girls that I've competed with.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's definitely very important. I'm trying to think. What else can I ask you? So since you've mentioned you've been involved since your sophomore year now of high school, what advice would you have for girls that are either new to competing in the Miss America opportunity, thinking about it, or maybe even some veteran local title holders? What advice would you give them?
Oh, wow. Okay. Work hard, but never overwork yourself. I think that's the thing that I really had to learn as a title holder. We're all so passionate for the things that we're advocating for, and sometimes we can overwork ourselves, but remember that we're doing enough and that we are enough. We're making a difference in our community, state, and our country. And so reminding yourself that, I think, is really important. Another thing is to step away from the competition portion of the competition, I guess.
Yeah.
But really embrace those times that you're spending with your fellow sisters. Like, those are moments I will never forget for my entire life. The late nights up in hotel rooms laughing till we're crying. Like, seriously, those are the things that I remember about competing. And so making sure that you are just finding the joy in competing, no matter what that might be for you.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's such great advice. Totally agree. I'm trying to think of what else I can ask you. So, it was like fleeting through my brain. Oh, totally random. What's your favorite book?
My favorite book. Oh my gosh, I know you're all about literature. So it's actually kind of funny because it's probably more of a kid series, but I read the Land of Stories series when I was in like
Ooh.
upper elementary school, early middle school, and to this day, it is one of my favorite series ever. I've read it like 3 times. I love
Those
it.
nostalgic books are the best. Like they stick with you and they will always be the favorite. So I totally understand that one. That's awesome. I'm trying to think. So how much longer do you have your title as Miss I Was Teen?
Oh my gosh, I was just thinking about that today, which is so crazy. I have just about 2 months left. Our competition is just about the second week of June, which is so crazy to think about. I can't believe it's been 10 months. Like I'm almost done. It feels like just yesterday. I was thinking and it's so bittersweet, but I'm so excited.
It's a lot. But I'm curious if you have any exciting plans for the last 2 months of the year. Anything you're looking forward to?
Oh, I'm looking forward to graduation as you're in high school. I'm sure you're feeling the same way.
Definitely.
Um, just making sure that I can end my reign with the biggest impact I can, and make sure that I've done all I can in my time, no matter what that might be, is really important to me for my last 2 months.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, is there anything else that you really want to highlight or share with everybody, like shameless plug kind of things?
Oh, wow. Well, I will tag my socials. You can follow me at Miss America's Teen IA for everything Miss Iowa and Miss America related. I'm sure I'll be posting a lot coming up towards the competition in June, as well as interviews with our delegates. So if you want to check that out, you definitely will be able to.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for hopping on today. I really appreciate it, and I cannot wait to share this episode with everybody.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye. She is the best. I'm so glad she was able to join me today, and then I got to officially talk with her a little bit more, and of course share it with all of you. So if you or someone you know would like to be a guest on the Imagine with Keira podcast, please reach out to me. My email is imaginewithkeira@gmail.com. You can also find me on Instagram at Imagine with Keira or at Miss Fresno County's Teen, and also on TikTok at Blondie Vix. Thank you so much. Be water, my friend. I am Keira Bixler, and this is Imagine with Keira.